let's talk about one of the most popular banks that everyone wanna work at, right? I don't think there's anyone that's job hunting right now that didn't apply for this bank or that doesn't want to apply for it, because overall job hunting is killing us. So we're just looking for roles there and there that will just give us like some sort of experience. So there's a post at Capitec. It's called Bank Better Champion, if I'm not mistaken, where it's an entry level role. It just needs grade 12 and you get into banking, right? So a lot of people apply for that role because it just needs like grade 12, and it's an advantage if you have a qualification, but grade 12 is enough, right? So I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about the application process for Capitec because I once went through it and I know how hard it is to actually get into Capitec, right? A lot of people struggle with the assessment, and I definitely understand. So how you apply for this role is that you're gonna go to Capitec Career and look for a Bank Better Champion opportunity. If it's there, then good for you. If it's not, you're just gonna keep on searching every time, right? Until you find opportunity. They're usually out a lot of times, and people do get this opportunity because like I said, it's an entry level opportunity which just need a grade 12 and you just need to pass the assessment, right? So when applying to Capitec, you're just gonna go to their career profile, then create a profile, and then you're just gonna fill in whatever they need, the information, submit your CV, and then they're gonna send you an email, and then a recruiter will then say, okay, she's fit, and then they're gonna send you an assessment, right? Just like any other bank. But the nice thing about the assessment for Capitec is that it's the only assessment you're gonna have. There is no interview that you're gonna have. There is nothing after that, right? That's the nice thing I like. Yes, it's very long. I think it's gonna take you like 3 hours to complete the assessment, but it's worth it. So I advise you, if you have gotten the opportunity to write that assessment, you better give it your best, because it's gonna be used for every application you put into Capitec. They're gonna use that assessment for the 12 months, right? So I'm gonna give you like a little bit of trick that you can use to actually write that assessment, right? So it's gonna be a little bit I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. But I'll just, because I know a lot of people are not using like iPhones or whatever, but I think this trick will work very well for people that have like iPhones. But also I have a trick that can literally work for someone who doesn't have an iPhone, right? So once they send you that assessment, it's gonna say you're gonna write alone and whatever. It's just gonna give you instruction on that you shouldn't copy, you should do it alone. But I'm telling you guys, that assessment will drain you. Like, it will take a lot from you that you have nothing left. And on top of that, at the end of that assessment, you still have an interview. You still need your mind to think, because that interview process, I'm gonna tell you about it. Let's start with the assessment. So what this assessment does is that every step you pass, you get to the next assessment. Yeah. So there is like, I think there's four assessment in that assessment, if I'm not sure. So when you pass this, you're gonna be able to move to the next one. When you pass this, you're gonna be able to move to the next one. It's gonna give you the instructions, but I don't think it tells you that you need to pass this to move to this. But if you get to the interview, it means that you've passed all the steps. If you get to a step and you finish it, it doesn't allow you to move, it means you failed. So you're gonna try by all means to avoid failing in these assessments, right? So what you're gonna do is that if you have an iPhone, right, you're gonna take your iPhone, whatever I'll advise you use your laptop and have your phone with you, right? When you're using an iPhone. So what you're going to do is that whatever assessment you come across, you take a picture on your iPhone, you copy it, and you put it into ChatGPT. ChatGPT will analyze the data and give you answers. That's all you need. Another option is that for things that have like graphs or whatever, you're gonna screenshot, you're gonna download the ChatGPT app. The ChatGPT app, it's gonna allow you to upload a picture, and then you're gonna ask it to answer those questions for you. So it's just gonna analyze that picture and the questions there and give you answers. Make sure that the answers, because ChatGPT is not always 100%, but trust me, it got me through a lot of assessments, right? So if you're using Android, right? If you're using Android, what you're gonna do is that you're gonna take a picture and download the ChatGPT app, and then you're gonna upload the picture. So you are gonna use this method, but the iPhone's ones will use those two methods that I've just given. If you don't have data for downloading the app, you can just copy the picture and then put it into ChatGPT. For Androids, you're gonna take a picture and then you're gonna put it onto ChatGPT and it's gonna analyze the data for you, right? And then let's talk about after you've passed all the steps. There is the last step where it's like video interview. So what I'm gonna tell you, you have to be prepared for the video interview, because you're not even gonna have time to prepare, right? With that one, once the question asks you, you have 30 seconds to read the question and think very fast, and then you have to answer. Make sure that even if you don't know what to say, make sure you talk about customers. You talk about talk about banking, right? I know that those questions, they're not hard, but I know that most of the time, like when you are under pressure, you don't think very quickly, but you like your mind just get blank. But just try to get through a lot of questions. Like, they're not difficult. They'll ask you about how would you deal with a difficult client and all that. So you have to make sure that when you answer, you're as relaxed as possible, because that interview will determine whether you'll get that email for fingerprints and MIE checks, right? Because after that step, they're gonna review your application, and then after the application, they're gonna ask you to do fingerprints or MIE at your nearest postnet, and after that, most of the time it's the offer. If everything is in check, then they're gonna give you an offer. So I love that about Capitec. It doesn't take you through a lot of interviews, multiple interviews and all that. And all you need is just to make sure that you get through the assessments, the video interview, and you're good, right? And every time you apply for another opportunity, they are going to use the same assessment. So you have to make sure that you do very well in the assessments, because they are going to figure out your fate, right? And for me, I used a laptop for the video interview, but unfortunately they said that it wasn't clear. So I need you guys to actually make sure that when you do your video interview on your laptop, it's very clear. You make sure that they can hear you, right? So make sure that they can hear you, right? Because then with me, they scheduled another interview where it was even much harder, because it was 3 people and they were just asking a lot of questions. Whereas with the video interview, I had like maybe 4 or 5 questions, and it was just that, and then I'm done. Whereas when you're speaking to people, especially 3 different people, they have their questions drafted, and then when you answer, they ask, this other one is like, yeah, please elaborate on what you don't want that. So make sure you get through that step. You make sure that your technical things are pashaj, right? So yeah, but I wish you luck in applying for this opportunity. I think it's a very great opportunity, and the stipend is very nice. A lot of people said that the stipend is like 10k, so I think it's very nice. And the nice thing about Bank Better Champion is the fact that you're gonna work there for like 12 months, and then you're gonna be promoted into a consultant. So there is career growth, right? Because you start working as a bank better, they train you, they take you through the training, all that, and then after that you get promoted after 12 months, some after 6 months. So I like it. So I'll advise you guys to apply for it if you're looking for an opportunity, and please do very well. Make use of ChatGPT. We are not machines, but we have machines to help us, right? So I love you guys so much. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.